Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our featured prelim for UFC Qatar. Also, note when I do the Alex Perez versus Asuan Live video, they moved that fight to the prelims instead of the main card opener. So, apologies for the kind of the misorder. But this is our featured prelim. We have the UFC debut of Cage Warriors standout Luke Riley taking on Bogdan Brad. So Luke Riley is 11-0 in the Cage Warriors promotion, fights in the featherweight division. He trains out of Next Generation MMA Liverpool, so he is teammates with Paddy Pimblett and a fellow debuting prospect on this card, Shaquem Rock or Shamrock. Currently, Luke Riley is really fucking good. I'll say that right now. He's a very, very dangerous guy, good knockout artist, really, really good boxing, and so far, like, he has proven the test that you want to see, like an undefeated guy. Like, can he handle adversity? Yes, he can, because he had this fight with Alexander Loof, which was the best fight in Cage Warriors history, or like the best fight ever in Cage Warriors, or at least that's what it was also labeled as. So you can check that on YouTube. Luke Riley is very fun, very, very fun to watch. Comes at you constantly, high volume, aggressive combination, and moving forward like he's allergic to giving anybody space. Thrives on pressure and makes his opponents uncomfortable, forces mistakes, and break the rhythm. Now he takes on Bogdan Brad, who more or less you could say is an overachiever. Overachiever. He's not the most athletic fighter in the featherweight division, not the most I don't want to say skilled, but kind of average in terms of just athletic abilities, but he mixes in his height and reach very well, very technical, and has shown pretty good striking so far. Currently, he was a second-time Contender Series alum, in his second stint in the UFC, he defeated Michael Aswell, which has aged pretty well. His only loss in the Contender Series was to Tom Nolan, who is doing very well right now. Currently won the promotion, not TKOing Lucas Alexander in February, and then most recently lost to Muhammad Naimov in June. But for this battle, you have a relentless pressure versus measured precision. So, without further ado, let's break down their styles. Starting with Luke Riley, his whole game revolves around pace and dominance. The second the fight starts, he's moving forward, cutting off angles, and forces his opponents to think about survival rather than offense. His combinations are also very good boxing from Luke Riley, very good at mixing in the body and head shots, and whether it be from long and or short range. He mixes his punches and elbows with subtle feints to keep you guessing. But what really makes him dangerous is the volume. He's not a one-hitter quitter like some others in the featherweight division. Instead, Luke Riley's going to overwhelm his opposition with pressure, constantly forcing decisions and creating openings as your defenses start to crumble. That's mainly it. High volume boxing. Very good. Like I said, very good at mixing into the body and head. Good leg kicks too. And very good at getting usually like tie plums and going for the knees. Riley's cardio and mental endurance make this even more effective. Even late in fights, he can maintain the pace that would slow down most fighters. And when he starts targeting the body, like I've said, that's where the cracks begin to show. Grad may be precise, but repeated accurate pressure to the body will gradually limit his mobility and disrupt his timing. And that's something I take into consideration with this for Luke Riley. Looking at Bogdan Grad. Grad is, in contrast, is all about timing and distance. He likes to stay long, mixing kicks, jabs, and subtle feints to control the rhythm of the fight. He's not explosive in the same way Riley is, but he's sharp, very sharp. His footwork is precise. He does know how to angle out of danger while setting up counters. Grad doesn't overcommit, typically speaking, and he doesn't usually rush and trade recklessly. Now, there are times where that does go out the window, and he makes kind of calculated mistakes like that. That's what got him caught against Tom Nolan. But granted, Tom Nolan is a very good striker and a lightweight too. So at featherweight, he hasn't had to pay for those mistakes. Now, Grad thrives when he dictates the pace. And against a fighter like Riley, that patience is going to be tested immediately because Riley doesn't usually allow space or time to think. Grad's going to need to maintain composure, stick to his defenses and hit it when the openings present themselves. Otherwise, that pressure will start to stack. Looking at how their styles, or sorry, and this is where it gets interesting. When Riley and Grad meet, you got two very different approaches forcing each other to adjust constantly. Riley wants to pin Grad against the cage, close distance quickly, and make Grad uncomfortable in that mid-range exchange. That's where Riley's volume, body work, and combinations are often most effective. Either, yeah, that mid-range or up against the cage, where if his opponent's back to it. Grad basically wants the exact opposite. He wants space to move, distance to reset, and timing to catch Riley in the act of committing. Every time Riley passes, Grad has a chance to intercept, whether it be a straight right, kick to push him back, or a subtle shift in to redirect Riley. Because there are times where Riley does get too reckless at times, and he is open to being countered. And you saw it with the Alexander Loof fight, where he got rocked pretty badly in that fight. It was nearly going to get finished because he was a little over aggressive. This fight essentially becomes a push and pull battle. Riley's trying to force Grad into a corner, while Grad is trying to frustrate Riley and make this forward motion work against him. Every moment of pressure, every counter, and every feint creates a kind of subtle chess match. Now, not to the highest levels, I understand this, but this is still a pretty interesting fight when you think about it. The dynamic is simple in theory, but hard in practice. Grad's patience versus Riley's relentlessness. Grad wants to slow the fight and pick his shots. Riley wants to make the fight fast and chaotic. And who gets their style to dominate first? That's the story of this match. Now, looking at it realistically, the early rounds will likely favor Grad's timing. He is precise, he's calm, and he can land counters while Riley is working to establish his rhythm. He might even frustrate Riley a bit and make him overcommit and score clean strikes in the process. That is one thing I would say is the detriment of Riley. Plus, Grad can mix in his wrestling and try and smother Riley against the fence. The thing about that is Riley has shown good takedown defense and good get-up ability, and he seems to be able to outlast his opponents who try and do that with superior cardio, it seems. Plus, he trains with Pimblet, so his submission and grappling defense are going to be improving each time. But I think as the fight continues, Riley's pressure starts to acclimate. Body shots, snap mobility, constant forward movements limit Grad's ability to circle, and combinations make Grad increasingly predictable under duress. Grad's timing is excellent, but relentless pressure is a different kind of threat. It doesn't rely on one shot, it relies on you making small mistakes constantly. Plus, Grad, once pressure can make the mistake of firing one to too many spinning attacks, and that something like that, Riley can make him pay for it. And I think by the later rounds, the pressure will likely tip the scales in Riley's favor. Grad may still be technically clean, but the weight of Riley's style, volume, and pace just controls the fight. So I am going to pick Luke Riley in this one, and I'm going to pick him via TKO in this one. Honestly, I never understand what's the difference between knockout and KO in terms of predicting it. But I do think I see a competitive start for Grad and Riley. Grad landing counters and showcasing his timing, but I think over time Riley's sustained pressure, body work, and cage control will dominate the fight. Whether it's a late TKO or dominant decision, I think Riley's style is built to slowly overwhelm a patient striker like Grad. So in the end, I think Riley asserts himself and takes the fight cleanly. But again, I'm picking him specifically by TKO because I just think that body work and pressure is eventually going to overwhelm Bogdan Brad. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this fight. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see you all next time.